Certains ne changent pas.
In 2015, European Union countries plus Norway and Switzerland received a record of 1.3 million refugees, about half of them coming from just three countries: Syria, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Among main destination countries, Germany, Hungary, and Sweden. And what is the cause of a brighter wave of refugees? With the Arab Spring of 2011, several revolutionary protests and conflicts filled the Arab world and toppled many authoritarian regimes. However, the Al-Assad family, who have ruled Syria since the 1960s as quasi-dictators, refused to leave the power and started a horrible civil war. Over the past 4.5 years, Syria has been living a real nightmare, where different ethnicities and religious groups fought each other in changing coalitions, committing horrible war crimes, among them ISIS, a militaristic jihadist group with the goal of building a totalitarian Islamic caliphate, which quickly became the most violent and successful extremist organization on earth. This led to a huge movement of civilian displacements that had often been called a migrant crisis, which is clearly not the case. According to UNESCO, a migrant is a person who has freely decided to migrate for reasons of personal convenience and without intervention of an external compelling actor, what is very far from what a refugee is. If we follow UN's refugee agency, a refugee is a person who has been forced to flee his or her country because of persecution, war, or violence. A refugee has a well-founded fear of persecution for reasons of race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or membership in a particular social group. So, as we can argue, this wave of civilian displacement led to a refugee crisis.
2014 and 2015 were very aggressive years for the Syrian conflict. Thus, the refugees crisis presented a huge increment due to the big quantity of people risking their life crossing the Mediterranean Ocean to reach security and protection. This conflict has displaced millions of people. Since protests against the Al-Assad government began, Europe received more than 1 million refugees in 2015. They usually go first to countries such as Jordan or Lebanon, but as the government is unable to supply its own citizens with steady electricity and to care for the masses, refugees prefer to seek for asylum and security provided by a richer country in Europe, which is seen as a peaceful and wealthy territory.
Today, the sea arrivals get to the number of 43,807. The most common nationality is Syrian, with a percentage of 21.7% from the population arriving through the Mediterranean. October of 2015 was the month with the highest number of arrivals. More than the half of the refugees come from just three countries: Syria, Afghanistan, and Somalia. There are growing numbers of children crossing borders alone and applied for asylum in 78 countries, triple the number of 2014. In UK, for example, refusal rate of these applications for asylum was of 58% in 2016. The question is, what is going to happen with these people? Easy answer: do whatever is needed to enter to developed countries. The crisis is not just about numbers and rates, but about the hard work of NGOs, rescuing, locating, and taking care of. Non-governmental organizations are fully committed with refugees in Europe and people trying to get to the European Union. Even if governments stop helping refugees, NGOs are the ones responsible in a huge part of helping them to get a new life in Europe. The three NGOs are demanding from Serbia, Macedonia, Hungary, and Bulgaria to uphold the standards of the human rights. Charity groups and NGOs have rescued over 2,000 desperate refugees in the rough waters of the Mediterranean in a single day, criticizing the European Union for failing to conduct necessary search and rescue operations to prevent further loss of life.
Now, the following are some of the main changes in policies that many countries have adopted, starting with Greece. Greece insists that it cannot become Europe's holding center for migrants. It demands fair burden sharing. Turkey is reluctant to readmit large numbers of migrants, but it is under intense European pressure not to do so. Under the current rules, only migrants who have no right to international protection can be sent back to Turkey. That means economic migrants. Let's not forget about the Turkish treaty that agrees to take back any asylum seekers who land in Greece. Hungary. There was widespread criticism of Hungary for its decision to build a razor wire fence and prosecute migrants entering illegally. Austria reimposed border checks, as did Germany and its border with Austria, as a temporary emergency measure allowed under certain rules. Germany. Chancellor Angela Merkel says Germany will look after genuine refugees, fulfilling its international humanitarian duty. That welcome does not extend to many economic migrants. Those from Balkan countries like Kosovo, Albania, and Serbia can now be sent back. Germany recently classified those countries as safe. France reimposed police checks on its border with Belgium after the November Party's attacks, in which jihadists murdered 130 people. Italy is angry at some European partners are so unwilling to share the migrant burden. Its reception centers, especially in Lampedusa and Sicily, are so overcrowded, like those in Greece.